Ms. Gynild, you and your sister agree that the man you've known to be your father is denying paternity.
Yes.
Yet you disagree about why you've come to court today. One of you is hoping the DNA test will prove he is your biological father. The other is hoping to learn he is not. Now, Mr. Hardin, you argue that you've been buried in child support payments totaling more than $90,000 for two daughters you don't believe you fathered. Furthermore, you claim that while involved with their mother, you caught her in several compromising situations with other men. And you believe it's understandable why you've always had doubts. So, Ms. Gynild, first, just explain to the court, when's the last time you saw this man?
Mr. Hardin actually came to our house in Minnesota and with his two sisters, in which we all just spent the day together. And the last I recall, I was 11 years old, and my sister Kiera was 10.
11? Mm-hmm. And you're 26 now?
Correct.
15 years ago is the last time you saw him?
Correct. He would always say he was gonna come see us, and he never did. He would just always lie, and that was it.
I wanted this man so bad in my life. I played basketball, I ran track. All my friends had both mom and dad there. I had my mom. I wanted him, I watched through my windows and watched raindrops fall, and he wasn't there. He told me he was coming. I waited and waited and waited. He never showed.
Your Honor, their mother didn't allow me to come around them at all. There's no way that I would not want to be around my daughters, Your Honor.
You're lying right there.
I asked for a paternity test from day one. And Your Honor, I've always doubted because I used to catch Ms. Gynild with several different men during the course of our relationship. I would actually come in and see men running out the door. I actually caught Ms. Gynild after I had to go out of town for a funeral. My first daughter was 6 weeks old. I came in from out of town for my aunt's funeral. I came home early to find Ms. Gynild gone. Another lady was in the house. She threw the baby in my arm and ran out the door, Your Honor.
Specifically though, I mean, there's specific windows of conception. Why is it you doubt that Shanice, your oldest daughter, is yours? What specific thing happened?
They were 9 years old before she said that I was the father.
Well, look, when you found out she was pregnant, did you think the baby was yours?
There was a possibility, Your Honor, but
you only felt there was a possibility?
Yes, because she had slept with two of my friends prior to that. I found that
During the time Shanice was conceived?
Shanice had already been born 6 weeks. So between that time, I waited. You know, I didn't want to, deal with the situation, so I got away from her. And then about a month later, we got back together, and then she told me that she was pregnant with Kiera.
So, all right, Mom, I want to hear from you. Ms. Gynild, please step up to this witness stand and have a seat. Thank you for being here. Now, Ms. Gynild, you've got two beautiful girls. And Mr. Hardin is saying that each time you told him you were pregnant, he doubted whether or not he was their biological father because you had been unfaithful. Were you unfaithful?
I was dealing with somebody prior to us getting together. And like I said, prior to us getting together, he was also in a relationship. And when I first got pregnant, he was excited about it. He also, like I said, had another woman pregnant. She was pregnant a month before me.
But more importantly, were you sleeping with anyone else during the time? Let's first deal with Shanice, your oldest child. Were you sleeping with anybody else during that window of conception?
When we first got together, no. But prior to that, like I said, I was with somebody. So there is
a possibility.
Mm-hmm. And I told him that.
So she told you point blank that there could be someone else.
She did not tell me. A friend of mine told me, Your Honor.
Yes, I did.
A friend of mine actually brought it to my attention. He actually told me that she had several different men that she had been engaged with over the time.
So, is that true?
No. Mm-mm.
But you
David
do
and
admit
I-
that there's at least one other possibility as it relates to your first child, Shanice.
Yes.
There could be one
Yes.
more person.
Yes, could be.
Okay, Shanice, did you know this?
Yes.
So you do know this. Okay. Who's on the birth certificate for Shanice?
Just me.
No father listed. How about Kiara?
Nothing.
So you're paying child support though.
That's
You say
correct.
you owe almost $90,000 between the two girls. So if you're not on the birth certificate, how did he end up being named father and responsible to pay the child support?
I was told from the state of Minnesota that when they approached him in Indiana, that they were going to give him papers to sign or whatever. He said he felt he was the father and he didn't need to sign no papers, but he signed some document, but nobody knows where that document is.
What? If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. Mr. Hardin, did you sign any documents?
Judge Lake, I never signed any parental documents, no birth certificates, nothing. I was issued a court order because I was late for court in the initial court date, and they ruled as default.
Explain that.
They actually took my truck driver license, Your Honor. I was a semi-truck driver. I used to drive trucks before this came about. They took my truck driver's license, my livelihood, Your Honor, saying that that I'm the father of these two beautiful young ladies here, Your Honor.
So because you were late to court, you were named the father by default.
By default, that's exactly what happened.
Default
And I beg-
judgment.
Your Honor, I begged for a paternity test. I
I
petitioned
am
the court.
25 and 26 years old. You had all this time to do it. You should have did this way back when. There's no doubt you should have did this.
I did it immediately.
Why didn't you come? Why are
did it.
you letting us call you dad when you doubted this whole time?
No, you don't understand.
No, I don't understand. So explain it.
I'd like to
I'm trying to
understand.
explain it right now. Last year we went to court about this. I begged the court to please give me a
You took
paternity
me to
test.
court last year to modify your
tried.
child support payment.
I tried.
It's all about the
I
money.
tried.
That's all
The
it
money.
is.
You
I
never,
tried.
when you started paying child support payments, that's when you wanted DNA tests. You didn't have
Exactly.
none of this before.
I was garnished from.
Your
I was
Honor.
garnished
So
from.
listen,
from
let
day
me
one.
ask you this, Mr. Hardin. So
Yes.
you requested a paternity test.
Yes, Your Honor, several times.
You weren't granted one by the court.
No, Your Honor.
But you never just personally asked Ms. Gynild or even asked your daughters to take one?
On availability, I didn't have the funds.
I told him
basically,
I'd pay for it.
I wanted to get.
I
with-
told him
we
I'd
live
pay
in
for a
two
DNA test, and he did not want to take it.
So
Never happened. It never happened, Your
do
Honor.
you remember her asking?
Never happened, Your Honor.
I told him
It
So
I
never
Ms.
would go
Gynild,
half
do you
with him.
remember your daughter saying that
They've-
I'll pay for it, I want to know?
They've talked to him.
We've
over the
talked.
years.
This is
We've talked
this is
about
our
it.
only time that he's denied us. We're just now hearing about this. We went our whole life. He's been calling us our dad. He's been saying he loved us, he missed us, he wants to see us. He's never in our whole life denied us until now.
Your Honor, I'm right over here and I'm right over here. I'm right in the middle. I don't know. I've never actually denied them.
Yes, you have.
I'm right in. I haven't. I have never denied them. I'm right in the middle because I don't know.
You did, over their entire life, allow them to regard you as their father, their daddy.
No, I told them that there's a possibility that I am not. They knew that.
That's a lie.
You understand that these two young ladies thought you were their father, right?
To a certain extent, yes.
He's only denying us because of the back pay and child support. He wants to find a way out to not have to deal with that at all.
Yeah.
That's
Your
the only
Honor,
So
Your
how did you
Honor-
get so far
Your Honor-
behind, Mr. Hardin?
I'm sorry, Your Honor.
How'd you get so far behind on the support? Almost $90,000 in back child
Because
support?
I basically wasn't aware of the law. I was naive to the law, Your Honor. I did not know that I could file motions. And
Well, you know,
they mo-
ignorance of the law is never an excuse. You know
Yes,
that.
Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor. I found that out the hard way.
Yeah,
and
I'm
your
25
mom,
and I know how to do all that.
their mom actually told me that they weren't mine. Actually,
What?
Also, too.
No, I
She
never
told me
did.
that.
Never
She
did.
came out of
That's
her
a
mouth
lie.
with.
Okay,
That's
My
when
mom
did
was
she
conversation.
tell
telling
you? When did she
everybody
tell
since
you?
we
She
were
told
born.
me that she wanted me to contact the other fellow that she used to date. That may be a possibility. She
No, I
asked me
never did
to
say
give me
that.
her number, and she said that basically she doesn't know, and they may not be mine. Period.
So, Ms. Gynild, you said there were other men in each situation. Were any of those other men contacted as it relates to support and paternity and?
No, because I don't believe.
Did you ever think of having a DNA test with those men?
No, because I don't believe that they are.
Well, belief and possibility are two different things.
I understand.
You can believe in a
understand.
possibility and then you cannot believe in a possibility,
Right.
but it doesn't change the fact that it's a possibility.
And you're absolutely right.
So,
And if we come to find out that he is not the father, then I will take that matter into my own hands.
Your Honor, this is why I'm 50-50, because after she was starting seeing those checks, she was more than happy. She's still more than happy. Up until last year,
Of
she
course.
got money all the time.
Of
Every
course,
job I
because
worked,
I
she
get
got paid.
$100
She
a
got paid,
month
Your
in
Honor.
arrears.
All my money. Yeah, but last year you was getting over $500, $450.
No, it was
I had to go to
400.
court to get it modified. That's when I
400 for
found
two
out the law,
children.
Your Honor.
You're worried about $100 here, $100 there. That doesn't matter.
We don't want your money no more.
My
Like, your
mom
money
raised
is-
us our whole life, and she did everything to provide for us. Like, you didn't do not
Thank
one
you.
thing.
She got my checks every job I worked, so I don't know where they come
You're
from.
no, I
Your
never
Honor,
did.
Your
I
Honor,
never got
have-
anything.
what is that you have in your hand,
Your
Mr.
Honor, I have evidence
Hardin?
showing where my driver's license were suspended.
Jerome, will you
That
hand me that,
comes-
please?
Minnesota.
Where
State of
garnishments
Minnesota took his driver's
garnishments of my
license for not
checks
paying
and
child
everything, Your
support.
Honor.
That's what that was.
Garnishes of my checks, my truck driver suspension,
I
and
never
all that.
got
My
any of that
CDL
money.
license.
Never.
You got it all.
No, I never
got it all.
did.
So
We
I
never
do
seen it.
see
It's right there.
the order for child support, evidence that his checks are being garnished.
It's right there.
Garnishing going where?
It's right there.
So, ladies, I have to ask you this, though, listening to this testimony. This is, it's complex in the sense Mr. Hardin, the man you believe to be your father, he says, I always had a doubt because I knew their mother had slept with someone else. Your mother is on the witness stand saying there is a possibility that he may or may not be their father because I did sleep with someone else. So you then can understand even though, look, after he let you believe he's your father and it didn't show up, that's wrong. Mm-hmm. But you have to then acknowledge that his doubt is real because.
And I do.
Yeah.
And I do. And I do.
Okay.
Your Honor,
I do.
this
I acknowledge it.
Your Honor, this particular situation has not only destroyed my life, it has destroyed our relationship.
You're looking like the good guy right now. If you look at me, David, we look just alike. If you look at my sister, you guys walk just the same. Don't sit there.
So listen,
I said I just don't.
let me.
All kind of different traits.
That's a
I
great
look
point.
like your
that-
oldest daughter
that's
that you were tested for with.
That's a great point that Kiera said. If you look at them,
We sleep with our eyes open. All three of us do.
Shanice
Not
walks
open.
like.
Your Honor, I'm actually hoping that they are my daughters so we can just get past this, but at this point, I just don't know.
so when you look at them, you see a resemblance as well.
There may be a resemblance.
Honor.
Just maybe.
There may be a resemblance.
Your Honor, can I say
There
something
may
real
be.
Do they look
I'm not-
like
I'm
any
not for
other man
sure.
that you know she was
maybe.
with?
Yes.
I'm 25 years old now. There's been lie after lie after lie after lie. I'm through with the lies.
He told
I
me.
grew up. I'm over it.
So, Kiera, you're hoping that he's not.
Exactly. I will go search for a man that actually wants to be my father. There's men out there that want to be a father. He didn't want that responsibility growing up. He missed out so much on me. So much.
You missed out on both of them, on everything.
Mr. Hardin, what are your hopes today?
Your Honor, my hope today is initially just to find out if
That you're not our dad.
I am the biological father of Kiera and Shanice. I love them, you know. I know that they're feeling hurt, and I didn't want to bring them here today with this.
And I see tears in your eyes.
And I'm not feeling good about it at all, you know. I've been hurt the whole entire time.
No, you haven't.
I just want a better relationship, and I actually just would like to know. That's been the big question the whole entire time.
Let's go to the results then. I think it's time. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Gynild v. Hardin, when it comes to Shanice Gynild, Mr. Hardin, you are her father.
I told you. I told you. I told you. I told you. 26 years. I told you. I told you. All these years that you and I have been told you. All these years I told you that was your kid.
Ooh.
Now what?
Wow, man. I'm happy.
Are you?
I'm happy.
Really?
Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Gynild v. Hardin, when it comes to Kiera Gynild, Mr. Hardin, you are her father.
I told you. I told you. But I told you.
All right. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm like I say, I'm devastated.
Now look,
You see him looking me in my eyes?
I will
no,
fix
listen.
this. I will fix
I'm
this.
watching you. I see tears in your eyes for your children. You're their daddy.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now that doubt that's kept you away from them for 20-something years
Yes,
is gone now.
Yes, it is.
Do not wait for them to call you. You call them.
I will be there. They don't even have to ask me. I'll be there.
Miss Fayne, you have opened 2 cases against your estranged husband today. The first is to prove that he fathered your 4-year-old son, Antoine Geeter, and the second is to prove he fathered your 2-year-old son, Kingston Geeter. You testify that you may not have been a faithful wife, but you were a careful one. And you are positive he is the father of both children. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Geeter, you are 100% certain you did not father either of her sons. You say your wife is sneaky and is pinning these babies on you only because you are still legally married. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Miss Fayne, how difficult has it been raising these boys alone?
It's been really difficult. My lights been cut off, my car been taken due to him not helping me watch the kids.
You know that she needs help,
Yes, ma'am.
but you refuse to help.
It's not so much as I refuse, I just don't want to be that guy taking care of someone else's kids.
And you truly don't believe these children are yours.
I truly do not believe it.
But you are still legally married.
Yes, we are.
How did you meet? Take me back.
We met back in 2010. We did meet over the chat line.
You start dating, and then you were in a committed relationship, end up getting married.
Got married after my daughter was 4 months old.
Okay. And then somewhere along the line, paternity questions.
Yes, he was looking through my phone, checking my messages, and ended up saying that I was cheating with another guy.
Mr. Geeter, what did you find? How'd you find out?
Phone rung, and it said her sister. And I know her sister's numbers and had a different number, so I answered the phone. And the guy, whoever it was, they didn't say anything. They got quiet, so I politely handed her the phone. And she's always very honest when she gets caught. So she went ahead and came clean.
So, Miss Fayne, you were cheating on your husband.
Yes, I was.
Why?
Pretty much, I got married early, and I just wasn't interested in Drew anymore. So I started cheating.
And so, Mr. Geeter, is this the only time you caught your wife cheating?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
What happened?
All right, this was the second time. And the first time is very eerily similar to the second. I answered the phone and, the same thing. I took her the phone and she told the truth about it. We had our, argument or whatever you want to call it. Then, she told the truth. And, we worked past it. But,
So you worked past it.
Yes, ma'am.
And then this happens again. The phone rings and then it's the silence.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
So this time she moves out.
Yes, ma'am.
And now you all are separated.
Yes, ma'am.
How soon after that did you find out she was pregnant?
Couple of weeks to a month.
So take me to that day when you found out she was pregnant.
When she called and told me that, she was pregnant, my only response was DNA test. I don't want to take care of nobody else's child. I'm sorry, I don't.
We was having sex unprotectedly.
Unprotected. But you also had the affair during that time too, right?
Yes, protected. I was protected.
So how many different affairs did you have?
2.
2 of them. And during the window of conception?
It was around that time.
Did you tell the other men you were pregnant?
No.
What did you do at that point? Did you stay around and help through the pregnancy and birth?
Well, I had to tell the truth on it. I tried to be there for the pregnancy, go to doctor visits and do whatever I could, but this lady right here, she is very, very sneaky. She likes to do stuff by herself.
Okay.
I didn't need him to go to the doctor appointments with me.
And why is that if he's the father?
I just was like that. I didn't want him to come. But he is the father of my kids.
And why wouldn't you want him to come and he's the father?
Oh, I just didn't want him to come.
And are you sure it was not because there was some level of guilt within you that this may not be his child?
No, he never did come.
And this was not just your boyfriend, this was your husband.
Husband, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Your husband who was going to be named the father legally because the children are going to be born within the marriage.
Yes.
And is going to be responsible for child support.
Yes.
I mean, this is a person that's pretty much on the hook for these children, but he can't come to the doctor? Okay, I'm gonna move on. I'm trying to make it make sense, but it makes absolutely no sense to me. No sense.
And that right there put more doubt in my head, the way that she acted around like that, just simple as going to the doctors, she acted like that just put even more doubt in my head.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell.
We separated. I moved back to Memphis. Once this second incident happened, I took my butt back home,
So Antoine is 4. Have you developed a relationship with him? Do you have a relationship with him?
I would be honest about that.
No, Your Honor.
No, I really don't have
Not at all.
relationship with him.
He's acting out. He don't listen. He don't have a father figure in his life. And he needs his dad.
And so you say Antoine has really been suffering. Do you tell him and his brother that this is their dad?
He knows his dad. He'll say, he calls him DJ. That's his nickname. But he never sees him. He never come around, anything.
And doesn't call?
Don't call at all. Not even on a holiday, not on his birthday. And
For 4 years?
He treats them different. Like far as my daughter, he'll come pick her up. He won't get the boys. The boys ask to go with dad. Maybe next time, he don't come back. He don't get them at all.
Really, Mr. Geeter, you leave the boys behind and you come get your daughter?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, I'm not gonna sugar. Yes, I do. Simply because I don't want to grow and get that bond with them, and it's not mine. I think that's more devastating.
Is it going to be more devastating than if they end up yours and you are the father and you've missed 4 years of connecting with them and the child is acting out because he has no father figure and he thinks you're his daddy, but he thinks you only come for his sister and not for him?
Well, I admit it's not fair, but it's just the hand I was dealt right now.
All right, so Miss Fayne, you didn't open just one case today, you have 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
You also have a son named Kingston.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you say that Mr. Geeter, your husband, is Kingston's biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Kingston is 2.
Yes, Your Honor.
But wait a minute, Mr. Geeter, you said you all separated 4 years ago. So how could you be a possible father of Kingston, who's 2, if you left going back home to Memphis?
Well, see, what had happened was...
What had happened was...
That's a lie there.
What had happened?
I was still making those trips up the road. That's what happened. We just gonna tell the truth.
So wait a minute. You brought your girlfriend with you. She's sitting here supporting you. She's been with you for 4 years. But you got a 2-year-old son, potentially with your wife.
Yeah,
Now, what
right.
kind of mess is this?
You're right, right? It was a hot mess. I agree. You know?
So, Mr. Geeter, I think this is a good opportunity and a good time to hear from your girlfriend.
Uh-oh.
Ma'am, please step up to the podium. State your name for the court.
I'm Amanda Askew, and I have been dating the defendant for 4 years.
4 years.
Yes, ma'am.
So when's the first time you heard about him still going back and visiting his wife and sleeping with her?
Today. Yes, ma'am.
So, Mr. Geeter, you had not told your girlfriend in 4 years that you were still sexually active with your wife?
And want his family back.
That's what he would say?
And from my understanding, he's been denying that family.
But from your understanding as well, he wasn't sleeping with her. And then you obviously were sleeping with her during the window of time that Kingston was conceived, which was a little over 2 years ago.
Yes, ma'am.
Dirty.
Well, we're gonna tell the truth. I was. Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's why we're here. We're here to tell the truth, because it's gonna come out one way or the other.
Yes, it is.
Yes, ma'am.
And my granny say in the wash or in the dry, but it's coming out.
Yes, ma'am.
And so when you found out you were pregnant the second time with Kingston, Miss Fayne, did you tell your husband?
Yes, I did call him over the phone and let him know that I was pregnant again.
Were you sleeping with anybody else at that time?
Yes, I was, and that was protected.
It's kind of hard to believe, ain't it?
Because from my
Well, you sure ain't the one that need to be talking about what's hard to believe now.
Yes, ma'am.
Cheating on your girlfriend with your wife. I don't even know if that happened. Can you do that?
How do you have time to do that? And you're supposed to be working 10 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Well, obviously we weren't doing that. He had some extra shifts
Obviously.
at home. So you find out you're pregnant, you tell Mr. Geeter, do you tell the other man I'm pregnant?
I did not, because I was sure that Andrew was the
Wow.
father.
So when you had the baby, when you had Kingston, who was with you?
The other guy
And he signed the birth certificate, Your Honor.
did
And
not.
he signed the birth certificate.
He did not sign the birth certificate.
Do you have a copy of Kingston's birth certificate?
Yes, we submitted it to the
You
court.
submitted it to the court?
Yes.
So this is the certification of birth and no father listed.
I was under the impression, too, that he signed the birth certificate.
He did.
Well, you know why he can't? Because you're the husband.
Right.
And he been asking for a divorce. They could have been going half on it together.
They were going half, Miss
They
Ashley.
were going half on the baby. They weren't
Yeah.
going half on no divorce.
Okay, you took it out of my mouth.
He want a divorce, he need to pay for it.
How about both y'all pay for it? It's just
He can
don't
pay
fall
for
up on him.
it. He can pay
Both
for
of
it, because
y'all
I'm not.
married.
He
It's all
gonna
about
pay
both of
for
y'all.
it.
You want a
He gonna
divorce?
pay for it.
Hold on.
He's still gonna be an ass.
Hold on. When's the last time you had sex with your husband?
It's been probably a year ago.
Just about a year ago.
Yeah.
So you all were still having sex after Kingston was born?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, well, we're here now. We can't turn around.
Yes, we are.
So there are 2 children here whose
ma'am.
paternity is truly on the line.
Yeah.
And Mr. Geeter, even though you may have cause to believe you may not be the children's biological father, you still do really have cause to believe that you could be these children's biological
Yes,
father.
Your Honor.
That's the real truth.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I know you have not spent a lot of time with Antoine, but have you spent time with Kingston? He's 2.
No, ma'am.
Not at all.
But you see the effects of not having a father figure
Yes.
and the way the children behave, especially Antoine. You
He's
say
acting
he's
out
struggling.
today.
I'm
He
sorry?
needs his father.
So what are your hopes today? Because I see the hurt in your eyes. What are you hoping for?
Hoping to get these results so he can start being there for his kids and take care of his kids like he's supposed to. And it's not all about money. He can come get them. It's not about the money.
And I
He
don't
can spend
have a
time with
problem
them.
it. I just want to get this resolved.
Help me
girl,
watch them.
today, because I don't want to watch another man's
At
kids.
the end of
I
the
don't
day,
want to raise another man's kids. She can have 20 more kids and they're gonna fall on me.
My tools are tied.
I don't want that. No, I want a divorce.
All right, I'm ready for the results. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. This result is for Antoine. In the case of Fayne versus Geeter, when it comes to 4-year-old Antoine Geeter, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Geeter, you are the father.
Told you. I already know.
You are the father of Antoine. What do you have to say?
Now I'm hoping he can be in his son's life.
Do you want to be there for your son, Mr. Geeter?
Yes, I do. I'm not one to turn my back on my responsibilities, you know. I welcome him with open arms, and I'm gonna step up, because I see the acting out myself. And this is all basically what I wanted to know for sure. All right?
I'm ready for Kingston's results. Jerome? These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics as well, and they read as follows. In the case of Fayne versus Geeter, when it comes to 2-year-old Kingston, it has been determined by this court. Mr. Geeter, you are not the father. Miss Fayne, do you know who Kingston's biological father is?
Yes, Your Honor. It's the other guy.
But you said you were sure because you only had unprotected sex with your husband.
Yes, but that's the only other person.
Has he ever met his father?
Yes, Your Honor. He denied him also.
So now he's probably gonna need a test to prove it to him.
Yes, Your Honor.
Well, I say we're here for children, and this courtroom is here if he needs to have a test, get the certainty he deserves. This baby deserves to know.